Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Chris Davis. Before we get into another movie review, I want to apologize for not uploading 2 videos last week. I had to visit a relative in the hospital. I apologize for that. But I think I am going to move my uploading schedule to a Sunday, Tuesday schedule. It's just uploading one video right after the other. I work on Mondays now, so it's a lot harder for me to do it. I was more easily able to upload videos on Mondays because I was off that day, but I work on Mondays now. So it's gonna be a lot easier for me in the future just to upload Sunday and Tuesday from now on. But what I want to also mention is I've noticed the views, that these movie reviews, trailer reactions, you guys like them. I know you guys really like the shorts, and I'm gonna do more of those, but I'm just not gonna just do frivolous shorts. It's going to be when I'm going out somewhere, there's a festival going on, there's an event, I'm at a concert, I'm at a shopping mall. Like, it's not gonna be just something boring and random. It's gonna be like something interesting and festive. So I noticed those shorts, you guys love them, and I'll do more of them, and I might experiment with doing some shorts for like movie and our tech stuff. Well, with that being said, let's get into the movie review. So the movie we're reviewing today, well, I'm reviewing today, is Rebel Ridge. It's on Netflix. I really wouldn't have even considered watching this movie, but a coworker recommended it to me, and she said it was really good. I saw maybe one other YouTuber review the film, and he didn't like it all that much either. Another coworker of mine said that his relatives saw it, didn't like it that much either. And I guess where I fall is that I didn't like this movie all that much. To me, it wasn't a great movie. It had its interesting parts, but overall, I wouldn't recommend you watch Rebel Ridge. First, I was nearly dozing off in between the movie, and there was times where I was pulling out my phone, waiting for it to end and everything. Like I said, it had its interesting parts. It has good parts, but overall, the film was boring to me. So, what the movie is really about is there's this ex-Marine. He wants to bail out his cousin for a minor offense, minor or major depending on whatever state you live in, of illegal marijuana possession. So the cousin got caught with the marijuana. He got caught with it in a very small town, and they take offenses like that super seriously, and so instead of getting off with a warning or just spending maybe a couple weeks in jail, they're gonna put him in the state penitentiary, where it's really bad, and the ex-Marine is trying to save his cousin by posting his bail. Sounds simple, right? But it isn't just that simple. While the ex-Marine is on his way to the small town to bail out his cousin, he gets knocked over from his bike by a police car. And then the police car is like, hey, you were evading arrest. I was following you for 2 miles and you didn't stop. And the guy explains, I had my earbuds on. And when you're looking at this, it's completely racist and stuff. If you don't know, the ex-Marine, he's black, the officers are white, and officers didn't even put on their sirens. You think you would put on your sirens if you want someone to stop you, but they don't even do that. They just hit his bike, he falls over, he scrapes himself, and then they're like, you were evading arrest. And then they're like, where were you going? And he explains, hey, I'm posting bail for my cousin, and then we're gonna buy a truck to go on some kind of vacation or whatever. And then they take his money because they're putting all kinds of charges on him, saying that he's evading arrest, saying that he's being uncooperative, saying that he has illegal money. Even though the money's his, he tells them where he got it from, that it's from a business that he cashed out of. But they take the money for themselves, and the whole thing, he's just trying to save his cousin. But then it turns out there's this corruption in this small town, where this small town does stuff like this, where they get people on for minor charges, and then they send people to state penitentiary. And the whole reason why the small town's doing this is because they're broke. That's why all this corruption is going on. And so the ex-Marine works with someone inside government to expose the corrupt city and get the dash cams, and just so like the whole world and the media can know what's going on in this small town. Now this small town has been able to get away with this, one, because they're so small no one's even heard of them, but also they do a great job of covering stuff up. But the ex-Marine is able to work with an insider to expose the small town and their corruption, and legitimately, like, that's the story. Parts that I found interesting, the action, of course. There's not too much action in this. It's spread out throughout the film. I was expecting something like Taken or John Wick or Transporter. It's not like those films. It has parts of it in it, but for the most part, it's suspense, and there's not that much action. But the action in it, it is interesting, especially when the ex-Marine is having to fight a whole squad of police. The other interesting part is the car chases. The car chases were very good. Parts that I found like ridiculous in this movie. Like, when I say ridiculous, I mean it's obvious that the police here, like, they were being racist and everything. So one was when they pulled the guy over. They didn't have even their sirens on, and then they knock him over on his bike. They don't drive in front of him. They don't drive past him, wave at him. They don't try to drive like in front of him to obviously show they're following. They don't even put on their sirens. They just knock his bike over and say, oh, you're evading arrest. But then the other second thing that makes this movie over the top ridiculous is when the ex-Marine is at the police station. He's talking to the chief, and he's trying to cut the deal with the police chief, saying, hey, I want to bail out my cousin. And he's like, no, you can't. You can't bail him out. And he like offers him a deal and says, look, I was going to spend part of the money to bail him out and the other part to buy this truck, but with the truck, you can keep that money and just let me bail him out. And then he's like, the police chief is like, okay, that's a good deal. But then the police chief goes back on his word and is like, why did you go back on your word? Like, I let you keep I gave you the entire $30,000, like $10,000 for the bail, $20,000 for the car. Why did you go back on our deal? And then the police chief is like, I wanted to teach you a lesson. I wanted to teach you that you didn't have a right to make a deal at all. And you're like, you stopped him over nothing, and like he's giving you like a full $30,000, and all he wants is to get his cousin back for a like minor like marijuana charge. like you're being ridiculous, like, man. And another ridiculous part, I know there's other ridiculous parts with the corrupt city, but those were the two biggest ones. Him getting pulled over, and then the second time when he's trying to cut a deal with the police chief, giving him a really good deal, and like the police chief goes back on the deal and says, hey, you know what, I wanted to teach you a lesson. I wanted to teach you that you weren't entitled to make a deal to begin with. So the movie and all, I didn't like it that much. I didn't like it. It was just like the racism in it was like over the top for me. Okay, this is clearly like racism. It's blatantly racism. Small town, like majority white, you're black, you get pulled over. The way my coworker kind of explained it to me was that, like, even sometimes now, or even way back in the past, like segregation, there'd be like these small towns that would pull over black people over nothing, and they would charge them with crimes over nothing because like they could. I mean, they did that everywhere, like back in like segregation and stuff, but with these really small towns, they did it even more. So I think that's what this movie was referencing. So overall, Rebel Ridge on Netflix, I see it got like a high series, like top 10. I mean, I guess other people love it, but honestly, I'm not into it. It's all right. I think you can just skip it. So that's all we have for today. If you liked what I had to share, please hit the like button, hit subscribe. Share this video with all your friends, and all of you have a great day.